We're working in the new Camtasia Labs tool called Camtasia.AI. Note that its URL is Camtasia.AI. We're going to do a little test project here. We'll do that by dragging and dropping a image from the Snagit editor into this tool. And if we go over to my Snagit editor, I have this image. It's an interesting user interface of a nutrition accounting program. I want to see what happens with this new AI application. So I'm going to drag this, hold it over the edge icon, bring it up, and drop it. Now it's in there. I can now click this button, and that will create a storyboard based upon AI's analysis and interpretation of this image. So I'll click that. And the storyboard's created. It's being updated, as you see, by this changing guy. And I'll slide it along, and you can see all the different scenes that are created. You can go through and read what AI has created for the text and the voice for each scene, but I find it, from a practical point of view, easier at this stage to just go ahead and generate the video. It's easier to preview it that way. So let's go ahead and generate this video. Let's take a few moments. Okay, that video's been generated. I can play it here. All the different scenes are listed over here. I can also edit them here, but I'm just going to play through this and see how it sounds. So let's click the play button.
Let's start by looking at the breakfast meal ingredients listed for August 2nd, 2025. Here we have the columns showing quantity, measurement, ingredient name, total calories, fat grams, carbohydrate grams, and protein grams. For example, 2 large eggs contribute 145 calories, 10 grams of fat, 1.2 grams of carbs, and 12.5 grams of protein. 2 ounces of raw potato with skin add 44.7 calories, very low fat, 9.9 grams of carbs, and 1.1 grams of protein. 2 sausage patties provide 174 calories, 14 grams of fat, no carbs, and 12 grams of protein. 2 tablespoons of ketchup and 1 slice of honey oat bread add small amounts of calories, fat, carbs, and protein. 1 tablespoon of butter adds 104 calories and 11.5 grams of fat, while 24 ounces of brewed coffee contributes minimal calories and nutrients. The total meal amounts to 647 calories with 335 fat calories, 185 from carbohydrates, and 128 from protein. This breaks down to 52% of calories from fat, 29% from carbs, and 20% from protein. In grams, the meal contains 37 grams of fat, 46 grams of carbohydrates, and 32 grams of protein. You can also create new ingredients to add to your meal using this option. Finally, there's space here to add any preparation notes for your meal.
Okay, on listening to it, the conversation here about creating a new ingredient wasn't exactly accurate. I would normally at this point go into that scene, which is down here. So there it is, create ingredient. And by scrolling down, you can actually change the text. I would typically do that because I wanted to say something quite a bit different. But for purposes of the screencast, I'm not going to waste my time. You can also theoretically edit the focus area and stuff like that, but I haven't been able to figure it out yet, how to do that. So at this point, I'm going to assume that we're going to accept the video as is, and I'm also going to point out that on my system, I can't see the top of these buttons. I have to go into full screen mode to get to them and then come back out again. But we're going to go to the export button, and I'm going to export this video as an MP4. What it's going to do is it's going to create it on the server, and then it'll give me an opportunity to download it to my PC. So let's create that MP4. This will take a few moments. Alright, the export's finished. I can now download that to my local PC. And that's been done. Next, I'm going to go back to export, and I want to download that project. It's a Camtasia project. I'll download that project as a zip to my local PC. And that's now been completed. Now, the only way that I know to go back to that initial storyboard display on the top side here is to start over again, because if I use the back button, I'll get kicked out of the app. And if I come back in, I'll have the text and everything of the storyboard, but all the scenes will be blank, and that's because the image I use will no longer be in the project. So I'll have to then grab that image and drag and drop it in again, then I can get back to where I was before. Just thought I'd pass that along. Here I've selected that MP4 that we just downloaded. Let's play it.
Let's start by looking at the breakfast meal ingredients listed for August 2nd, 2025. Here we have the columns showing quantity, measurement, ingredient name, total calories, fat grams, carbohydrate grams, and protein grams. For example, 2 large eggs contribute 145 calories, 10 grams of fat, 1.2 grams of carbs, and 12.5 grams of protein. 2 ounces of raw potato with skin add 44.7 calories, very low fat, 9.9 grams of carbs, and 1.1 grams of protein. 2 sausage patties provide 174 calories, 14 grams of fat, no carbs, and 12 grams of protein. 2 tablespoons of ketchup and 1 slice of honey oat bread add small amounts of calories, fat, carbs, and protein. 1 tablespoon of butter adds 104 calories and 11.5 grams of fat, while 24 ounces of brewed coffee contributes minimal calories and nutrients. The total meal amounts to 647 calories with 335 fat calories, 185 from carbohydrates, and 128 from protein. This breaks down to 52% of calories from fat, 29% from carbs, and 20% from protein. In grams, the meal contains 37 grams of fat, 46 grams of carbohydrates, and 32 grams of protein. You can also create new ingredients to add to your meal using this option. Finally, there's space here to add any preparation notes for your meal.
Okay, that was interesting. We go back over to the item, the MP4. We can see that that video ran for minute 37 seconds. Fairly quick, but it probably had more detail in it than I would have bothered to add, but still they did it. The AI did a great job. The AI did a lot of, all the picking of animations, mouse clicks. If you looked hard, you can see them, things like that. But some of the mouse clicks didn't come through. They're all supposed to have ripple effects on them, but I noticed a lot of them didn't have ripple effects, so I'll pass that along too. One experience I'm having is that if you use the same image multiple times in different projects, you'll get a different result, so keep that in mind. Now that we've seen the video, let's drag and drop a project into Camtasia. After the project loads into Camtasia, we'll expose it on the timeline. A lot of stuff here. You have a voice narration track. This is what the AI created, that this guy. We have a music background track. Here are the scenes with some animations on them. And I think these are the call-outs with animations on them. And this is the motion background that's in there. Anyway, you can go ahead and scrub through this or play through it or edit it any way you want to, like a normal project. It's all there. What's not easy to do is to use voice narration to change the AI narration, because your voice isn't going to match what they did. So you need to make any of those narration changes from the script in the original project. So that's what the project does look like, though. You can edit any of this you want, and then save it, zip it, or produce it as you see appropriate. For what it's worth, here's that same scene as I normally would have screencasted it manually. This is the nutrition review from August the 2nd, 2025. We're looking at the breakfast. This was basically eggs, potatoes, sausage. It was a very high-fat breakfast. 52% of the calories came from fats. 647 total calories in the meal. Picked up 32 grams of protein. I'll point out that the eggs and the sausage, they both contributed a decent amount of protein grams.